integrate 3x plus 7 power 4. Now in differentiation we learned something called the chain rule. So if you were to differentiate 3x plus 7 power 4, you're actually gonna get 4 into 3x plus 7 power 3 times 3. This 3 is the differential of the bracket. So if you differentiate 3x plus 7, which is the bracket, you're gonna get 3. Now this is the same as 12 into 3x plus 7 power 3. For integration, a similar thing applies, but instead of saying the chain rule, we actually use the reverse chain rule. Very similar to the chain rule, but you need to be a bit careful here. So for us to have something like 3x plus 7 power 4, let's apply the normal rule which we already had learned before. That gives you 3x plus 7 power 5 divided by 5 plus c. That's the normal way how we learned, isn't it? But notice that in the bracket which we are dealing with, there is an x term which is 3x. Here we had an x term in the bracket and we differentiated that to get 3. Here also you need to differentiate it, but because you are dividing the new thing which you're introducing, you need to divide it here also. Let me explain what I mean by that. So we have 3x plus 7 power 5 divided by 5. This you need to differentiate the bracket. So differentiating 3x plus 7 gives you 3, and then you need to divide it. So times 1 over 3. This 3 comes from the differential of the bracket. This is a new rule you're learning, so just take time to get familiarized with it, and I'm sure it's going to help you a lot. So then this becomes 3x plus 7 power 5 divided by 15 plus c. That's the answer to this question. So you need to make sure that if you have a bracket, you need to make sure you need to differentiate things first, and from there on you divide it to get the correct answer. Now we are asked to integrate 4 over 2x minus 3 squared. Again, you need to use the reverse chain rule for this, and it's a bit different here because you have a fraction here, but it will work out. So this can also be written as 4 into 2x minus 3 power minus 2. If you've learned the rules of exponents, you can notice that if you have a negative power, it's actually 1 over the whole thing. So this is the same as this. Now we also notice a constant term. This 4 is constant. See, anything with x is not constant because that's the variable. If you have 4 which is outside the bracket, it's a constant term. Therefore you can write this as 4 into integral of 2x minus 3 power minus 2 dx. So 3, if the 3 was outside the bracket, then yes, it would have been a constant term, but 3 is actually with respect to, or 3 is in tandem with the 2x, so you can't move this out. But you have the 4 which is outside of the bracket, and hence you can put this 4 outside of the integration sign to get this. Again, we apply the same rule which we had learned. This becomes 4 of integral 2x minus 3 power minus 1, I'm adding minus 2 with 1, divide by minus 1. But also make sure you multiply the denominator by the differential of the bracket. This is the same as multiplying it by 2. Alternatively, you could have multiplied it by 1 over 2, which is what we did here. But notice that this and this, they eventually multiply out. So you multiply the denominator by the differential of the bracket. This is where the reverse chain rule applies. So if you simplify this further, you get 4 into integral of, so the integral is actually gone. So you get 4 into 2x minus 3 power minus 1 divided by minus 2. This is the same as minus 2 into 2x minus 3 power minus 1 plus c. So make sure you're familiarized with this rule, and you need to look at the bracket first before integrating so that you have the correct thing in the correct order when getting your answer.